Hey guys, in this video we're looking at Christmas Carol, focusing on the theme of family. So in A Christmas Carol, Dickens presents family as the ultimate source of happiness and a shield against the cruelty of the world. By contrasting Scrooge's lonely, freezing isolation with the warmth of the Cratchit and Fred's household, Dickens argues that human connection is more valuable than financial wealth. A key quote is, "A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still." This shows that Scrooge wasn't always mean, he was a lonely boy. His solitary childhood is the reason he grew up to be a lonely man. Another quote is, "God bless us, everyone." Here, Tiny Tim says this to show that his family's love includes everyone. Even though they are poor, their family spirit is rich. Another quote is, "I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?" This shows that Fred, who's Scrooge's nephew, keeps on inviting Scrooge to dinner even though Scrooge is rude. This shows that family loyalty is unconditional. Another quote is, "They were not a handsome family, but they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another." Here, Dickens uses the Cratchits to show that you don't need handsome clothes or lots of money to have a perfect family life. Another quote is, "To Tiny Tim, he was a second father." This is the most important change. Scrooge learns that he doesn't just have to care for his own blood relatives, he can choose to be family to those in need. In terms of context links to the real history, we looked at the Victorian ideal. So Queen Victoria and Prince Albert made the ideal family very popular. They were often pictured as a large, happy family around a Christmas tree, and Dickens was tapping into this popular image. Another context link is isolation in cities. So as London grew during the Industrial Revolution, people became more anonymous and lonely. Dickens wanted to remind people that looking after your neighbours and family was the only way to keep society human. Another link is Dickens' own family. So Dickens had a complicated family. His father went to prison and he had many children of his own. He often wrote about found families, which are people who aren't related but act like family, because he knew how important that support was. A grade 9 model paragraph. So the question we're going to answer here is, how does Dickens use the theme of family to show Scrooge's transformation? So the answer is, Dickens uses the contrast between solitude and family to highlight Scrooge's growth. At the start, Scrooge is as solitary as an oyster, choosing to stay in his melancholy rooms rather than visit his nephew Fred. However, the Ghost of Christmas Past shows us that Scrooge's isolation started as a child when he was neglected at school. This makes the reader feel sympathy for him and explains why he fears emotional connection. By the end of the novella, Scrooge's redemption is proven through the Tenth family. When he knocks on Fred's door and asks, "Will you let me in, Fred?" it symbolises his desire to be part of society again. By becoming a second father to Tiny Tim, Scrooge moves from a life of selfish isolation to a life of social connection. Dickens is teaching that his readers that the world of a family is the only thing that can truly warm a frozen heart.